If you've been more tired than usual, more forgetful than usual, or you quietly stopped doing the things you used to enjoy, this video is going to walk you through 4 signs that stress might be the real reason, not just getting older. Hi, guys. I'm Mark with Retirement for Seniors, and I help seniors stay motivated and engaged in retirement. And before we get into it, AARP just came out with a wonderful survey. This is so very important. Please watch till the end. A recent AARP survey found that most older adults actually reported positive mental, emotional well-being and relatively manageable stress. So this video is not about scaring you, but it is about giving you the tools to catch stress early before it turns into something bigger. If you appreciate this kind of content, do me a favor down below, hit that button, and let's get to work. All right, sign number 1 is insomnia and trouble sleeping. This one is one of the most common and most overlooked signs of stress. According to that same AARP survey, 63% of respondents over 50 said they had trouble sleeping in the past 30 days. And 52% said they were tired even after they did have a full night's sleep. Clinical psychologist Holly Shift, who is based in Connecticut, says, insomnia is a classic stress symptom. And here's the tricky part. Bad sleep doesn't just come from stress. It also makes stress worse. You get tired, you can't focus, and that creates what Shift calls stress snowball effect. Here's what actually looks like on a day in and day out basis. It's not always lying awake, staring at the ceiling for hours, or sometimes watching the clock, which is what I do. Sometimes it's falling asleep just fine at 9 o'clock. Then you're waking wide awake up at 2 a.m. in the morning with your mind replaying conversations from 3 days ago, or running through everything you need to do later that day, or waking up at your normal time and feeling like you never really slept, and it's reaching out for that second cup of coffee just to function through the morning. If that sounds familiar, I know it does for me. One thing Shift does recommend is keeping a small notebook by your bed. When your mind starts to race, write it down. Get it out of your head and onto paper can generally free up mental space so you can actually rest. Now, sign number 2. This one sneaks up on people. Changes in your mood and your thinking. Gail Saltz, a psychoanalyst and clinical associate professor of psychiatry at New York Presbyterian Hospital, says stress can show up as agitation, restlessness, or a fearful feeling in your body. But now with chronic stress, the kind that just wears you down over weeks, it can also show up as feeling very down or even numb. And it's not just mood, it's your thinking too. Brain fog, racing thoughts, trouble concentrating, forgetfulness. In that AARP survey, 46% of older adults said they have trouble remembering things. Now, that is part of just normal aging. 44% felt irritable, and 41% were struggling with focus. So here's what that looks like in real life. It's walking into a kitchen and forgetting why you went in there more than usual. It's snapping at your spouse over something small, or something like how they loaded the dishwasher that evening, when normally you wouldn't have even noticed. It's sitting down to read the newspaper or watching your favorite show and realizing 10 minutes later you have no idea what you just read or what you just watched because your mind is somewhere else the whole time. If you have just been chalking this up to getting older, it might actually just be stress wearing on you. Now, before I get into sign number 3, do me a favor, drop me a comment below. Let me know which of these signs you've noticed in yourself or maybe a loved one. I read absolutely every single comment, and honestly, some of the best ideas for the channel have come straight from what you all share down there. Plus, with the amount of research I've done, I may have an article to send you. All right, sign number 3, physical symptoms. Now, this one people most likely will miss because it doesn't really feel like stress. It feels like a health problem. Headaches, upset stomach, dizziness, shaking, muscle tension are all signs when your body is sending out stress signals. In fact, muscle tension was the second most common symptoms in that AARP survey, with 57% of respondents reporting it. My wife thinks it's just me asking for a back rub. Who knew it was stress the whole time? Here's why this happens. Stress triggers the release of hormones like cortisol and nomoprene. And those chemicals can create a real physical discomfort in your body. Day to day, this might look like waking up, your shoulders are tight, your jaw's sore, even though you don't remember clenching it. It might be a stomach that's been off for a couple of weeks, and you're tired of cutting out coffee or dairy because nothing's really changed. It might be tension, headaches that show up every afternoon around the same time, right when you're thinking about bills or a doctor's appointment, or maybe a phone call you've been putting off. Salts does point out something important here too. Today's older adults may not always connect what they're feeling to stress, and even when they do, they may not feel as comfortable in talking about it with somebody else. If that's you, please, I want to hear from you. Again, in the comments down below, and let's connect. Let me share some information that I found from my research. There's absolutely no shame in naming it. By the way, if you're looking for a place where people your age are openly talking about staying sharp and connected and building a retirement that actually feels good, I built a community that's free exactly for that reason. It's called Retirement for Seniors on School. That's SKOOL. Guys, you can find the link down below in the description. If you just click on that link, you can join. It's absolutely free. Typically, it's a $9 charge, but I cover that cost for you every single month. So it's in a pinned comment down below. Sign up and join us. Now, sign number 4, and this one I think matters the most. Social isolation and withdrawal. Pulling away from friends or family and activities you used to enjoy is a real warning sign that stress or something is connected to it is affecting your physical well-being. SALT makes an important distinction here. There's a fine line between isolation because of stress or anxiety, which can make things worse, and intentionally stepping back a bit to recover from burnout. Burnout is real. If that's what you're going through, it's a physical and mental exhaustion that buildups from something ongoing, like stressful caregiver situation. Maybe you've moved recently. Maybe you're having a problem with a loved one. Again, I make myself available. If you'd like to visit and discuss this openly and honestly, you can sign up for one of my 30-minute free one-on-one sessions. I'm happy to visit with you. I'm not a doctor, but I spent 2.5 years as a crisis counselor, so I do come with a little bit of training. What does this look like on a day in and day out basis? It's usually pretty quiet, and that makes it really easy to miss. It's turning down a weekly card game with your neighbor 2 weeks in a row, or telling yourself, well, you're just tired. You just want to stay home and not go out with the family. It's letting calls from your kids go to voicemail because you just don't have the energy for the conversation right now. It's skipping church or the senior center, walking with the group you used to look forward to, and telling yourself, well, I'll just go next week. One missed week is not a red flag, but if you notice it's becoming a pattern, that's different. That's worth paying attention to. So the question isn't, am I just spending time alone? The question is, am I pulling away from the things and the people that used to matter to me? That's the version worth catching early. So what do you actually do with this? The honest answer is recognize these signs. That's the first step. And it generally can make a difference in how you feel on a day in and day out basis. If any of this is new or ongoing, or if it's getting in the way of your daily life, both Shift and Salts recommend checking in with your healthcare provider or a mental health professional. That's not the last resort. It's especially important because stress symptoms can overlap with ongoing health conditions. So getting it looked at helps you rule things out. If you felt this helpful, I made another video that pairs really well with this one, and it's all about 9 quiet changes starting in retirement. That first week, that first month, that first year can be difficult. You can check that out right here by clicking on the video. Thanks for spending time with me today, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.